Are you playing through the whole movement, first movement? Okay. Bravo. Very expressive playing, dramatic, nice, beautiful sound, good intonation. What did you think?
Yeah, I was focusing on sound, and that was my main focus throughout the whole piece.
Right.
And yeah, I think one thing I would want to improve or tackle might be a little bit of the stableness. Sometimes I find myself,
Stable in what way? What do you mean?
maybe in terms of, I don't know, sometimes I feel that my bow is a little bit shaky. Sometimes, especially when I'm a little bit nervous. I think that's, yeah,
Right.
and yeah, I think that's the main thing I was thinking all the time.
Right. Well, you move around a lot, and if you move around a lot, sometimes that can affect the shakiness of the bow too. You know what I mean? That to me, you're moving around a little distracting for me, for my taste. And, you know, if it sounds good, maybe it doesn't matter, right? But, you know, people are coming to a concert to hear you play beautifully and also to look at you, right? They're looking at you, otherwise they could put on a recording. So you're doing a lot of this, and you're also like before some of the entrances, you like are leading. She doesn't need necessarily some of this leading. I don't know how you feel about it, but sometimes you're doing some stuff before some entrances that are maybe not needed. So you have this shoulder rest thing, and as we were saying, you missed the picture. Look how Mr. Fritz Kreisler is holding that violin. He's not holding the violin. He's holding with the left hand. I had the great privilege of taking master classes with William Primrose. Mr. Primrose, of course, he did not like shoulder rests. None of the old players did. First of all, it didn't exist until a certain point. But Primrose could certainly have used one if he felt it was needed. And he said, you know, I just hold the viola with my left hand. Oops. And he said, look, I can play anywhere. I don't need this. That's what he said to us. He said, I don't want to clamp down on this thing. That's not going to be a good thing because I'm tight. I want to be loose. You want to be loose. You're moving around a lot because you want to be loose. So we asked Mr. Primrose, how do you shift? Which would be the most important question. If you're holding the viola in the left hand, how am I going to move that? I could do that. That's not easy. So Mr. Primrose said, oh, I just lift up my shoulder. Just look what I'm going to do. Look here. So, wow. And then he said, sometimes people use the lip thing and they would clamp down just for that shift. And his point is that you had that freedom of movement. And for me, after I studied with him, I had a few weeks free, and I said, I'm going to do this. I am going to do this. William Primrose said to do it. So I tried, and I was really, I can do it, but I realized I can't do it all the time. So what I do is I hold in my left hand, and I hold it here. And you may say, oh, I have a long neck. Well, you could get a higher chin rest or whatever, but it would be worth exploring. If you've always used a shoulder rest, for all of you who have only used a shoulder rest, it's worth exploring not using the shoulder rest, and just to see how that changes your playing. And to do that idea of holding in the left hand is possibly, in that case, would help you because you want to move. Their machine is holding you back because your machine is making you stuck in one place because it's just resting here. So you want to move like this. If you didn't have the machine, or even if you had the machine, you could hold it this way. You know? You could move it that way instead of, this is what I'm seeing a lot. And you should, you've seen recordings of yourself play, and you may be fine with it, and you may say, look, that's your taste. I like to move around, buddy. That's fine. That's fine. I don't have a problem. I'm just telling you my take on it. It's like, why is he moving around so much? And it may be, just as I said, just because these things aren't put you in one place doesn't mean it has to be in that one place. The directions don't say it has to stay there. You can actually move this thing around. If you have to use this thing, you could move it around this way, but you're compensating by this way. Another thing I notice is this, like your pinky and stuff is like up like this. You know what I mean? So habits are hard to break. I can't, if you ask me to change anything at this point, forget about it. I'm not changing a thing. I can't. But, and I know it's hard. How do you deal with that? I'll tell you one thing. For me, home base of the viola is right here, these two strings, the middle strings. It's not here. Do you know what I mean? This is not where I'm starting from. Because if I'm starting from here, everything's sort of like, if I want to go to the C string, it's a big journey. If I'm here, my journey's very short. This is my journey to the C string. Here's my journey to the A string. See how everything is concise? To me, I want to make everything as concise as possible, and I want to work as little as I can. And so my bow arm also is home base there. And I'm using very little movement. Your first teacher and my first teacher and everybody's first teacher had levels, right? I'm going to show you my levels. Because it's just a lot of, it doesn't sound better for me, so I don't bother. If I play, look at my arm. What I'm doing is I'm just pivoting up there. Our teachers also, first teachers, said play in the middle of the string, right? You've heard that. Every first teacher does that. I think there's a book that they all follow about things you have to teach. And, why? Because little kids play all over the place, and you want them to play cleanly. So you say play in the middle. That seems like the most easy way to accomplish that. But for me, I'm never playing in the middle because that means I have to go all the way over to there. So when I'm playing on the C string, I'm almost playing on the G string. When I play on the A string, that's, that piece, right? It's the Brahms Sextet opening. So I'm not going to go. Sounds better, and I've used half the energy that I would have if I'd played in the middle. So all I'm saying is that I'm trying to make everything concise when I play. There's my home base for my bow as well. Everything I want like this. The more movement I have, anything like that, and I know, as I said, habits, forget about it. My pinky is just going up. It's okay. But that means the higher it is, the bigger journey it is to get it down there. And trying to think about it and concentrating on that, if you have a fast passage and whatever, that Brahms is not really there. But in certain other things that maybe it doesn't cause you a problem. But you want to make life as easy as possible. So trying to think about that. This is all general thing. It's just that I see a lot of this movement that, as I said, if you're good with it, do it. But for me, it's like, is that helping us? Is that helping you? And I'm not saying you should also go, no, I don't mean to do that. We need movement. The question is, we want to be relaxed, and I want you to do me a favor, put your arm out. Everyone can do that. Put all your arms out. Yeah, someone's asleep there. So put your arm out and don't move it. Don't move. Don't move the arm. Put that arm out. I don't see your arm. Okay, I see it now. Okay, it's getting tense, right? It's tense. That doesn't feel good. Now let's move it around. Okay, not tense. Now let's just move it a tiny little bit. Still not tense. We don't need much movement. More movement doesn't make it more relaxed. To me, that's enough. This isn't going to help. Do you know what I mean? If you're saying the more I move, the more relaxed I am, the thing is, I'm going to exaggerate. This is not you, but if I did that, what happens? Everything has to react to that. See? So if I move down like this, that means this is moving here. If I go, it's a lot of accommodating the movement. And as I said, you should move. I really do think you should move. But just to think. I'm moving. I'm also trying to move in a way that corresponds to the music. I'm not going to choreograph it and say, oh, just move here. I'm just listening to the phrase. I'm not going to go. Obviously, that doesn't seem appropriate. Now, I know it's hard. I'm not asking you to change this right now. I'm just asking you just to think about it as you're playing, and you may say, forget it. I'm happy the way I am. Or may say, maybe, has anyone else ever told you that?
I think so.
Yes. And when you hear it from other teachers or colleagues, and enough people say something similar, it's advice, and it's for you. That's why when you play for different people, it can be very helpful, especially like your teacher says something to you all the time, whatever that is. You say, oh, he always or she always says the same thing. And then another teacher says the same thing. You say, oh, maybe I should have listened to my teacher. You know what I mean? That sometimes that reinforces something you've heard before. Now, let's try something fun. Take off that machine. Ugh. My teacher, when I was 10, made me throw it away. Haven't used it since. That's all I'm going to say. Try that. Have you ever tried that? You think it's going to slip? I could give you. Okay. Just where you come in. Okay, so you feel very uncomfortable. I know that, but partly because you think it's going to fall. So maybe a sponge may help. It's just worth, if you've only used this, it's worth exploring another option. It will change your playing, and you may say, no, I have to use this. But it's worth doing. Another thing, as I said, as far as cueing, what is your name? Kyunga. So, do you really need me? Go a bar before. Do you need that? I don't think so. Let's just do it one more time. If you're doing it for her, she doesn't need it. Just do it. Try again. Put the machine back on. Just start the beginning again. Bar before. Okay, good. Sounds great. Now you feel like, I can't move. He doesn't want me to move. You can move. To play it again, just to think about, what if I move it with my left hand? You can move around. I don't want you to feel like I can't play. You know what I mean? Just, I want you to feel good. Okay. Okay, so you see, what it is it's like, it feels like there's a chin rest. I got to use that whole chin rest. I got to, as I'm playing, this is where I come in. I was holding a lot in the left hand, probably I wouldn't do that much, but it's something worth experimenting. And just for, it says by the way, it says poco forte, but this is the forte. It's, I think, more effective just to really do what he says, but no accent at the end. Just do. Okay, good. Sorry. So going back to the playing in the middle of the string, what I see is, and what I'm doing, do you see how close it is? But the thing is, as I said, I think it sounds better, but I also am using a third less energy if I do it that way. And as a lazy person, I appreciate that. And with those words, I say thank you, because we have to go on to the next person. Thank you very much.